Hey guys, Charles with Cardiac Sports here, bringing you yet another video. This one actually in reviewing the Pro Bowl rosters. The Pro Bowl rosters are set. Team Rice and Team Sanders have made their selections, and they will play this weekend. That being said, I'd like to review the rosters, let you know who I believe has the better all-around skill of players, and also who I believe will win. So we'll start with Team Rice, and we'll start with quarterbacks. So without further ado, at quarterback, the team captain selected by Team Rice was Drew Brees. Then he followed that with picks of Phillip Rivers and Alex Smith. At running back, Team Rice had LaShawn McCoy, Matt Forte, and DeMarco Murray. At fullback, Mike Tolbert. At wide receiver, Brandon Marshall, Josh Gordon, Alshon Jeffrey, and Larry Fitzgerald. At tight end, Jimmy Graham and Tony Gonzalez. At offensive tackle, Joe Thomas, Tyrone Smith, and Jordan Gross. At center, Ryan Khalil and Nick Mangold. At offensive guard, Jari Evans, Ben Grubbs, and Evan Mathis. At defensive end, Robert Quinn, Cameron Jordan, and Cameron Wake. At defensive tackle, Kyle Williams, Jason Hatcher, and Marcel Darius. At outside linebacker, Team Rice acquired Robert Mathis through a trade, which he gave up Brian Arakpole to Team Sanders and received Robert Mathis in return. He also picked Justin Houston and John Abrams. At inside linebacker, you have Vontaze Perfect, and Derek Johnson. I apologize for butchering that name. Cornerback, you have Alteron Werner, Joe Hayden, Brandon Flowers, and Antonio Cromartie. At safety, you have Jarius Byrd, Antrell Roll, and Eric Reed. At kicker, Stephen Gostkowski. At punter, Johnny Hecker. At punt returner, Dexter McCluster. And at special team specialist, Justin Bethel. At long snapper, you also have Matt Overton. Now, that was Team Rice. Let's go to Team Sanders and start with quarterback there as well. So at quarterback, Team Sanders chose Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, and Nick Foles. At running back, Jamal Charles, Alfred Morris, and Eddie Lacy. At fullback, Marcel Reese. At wide receiver, A.J. Green, Dez Bryant, and Antonio Brown, as well as Deshaun Jackson. At tight end, Jordan Cameron and Jason Witten. At offensive tackle, you have Brandon Albert, Trent Williams, and Dwayne Brown. At center, you have Mike Pouncey, Alex Mack. And offensive guard, you have Logan Mankis, Marshall Yonda, and Kyle Long. At defensive end, you have J.J. Watt, my apologies, Mario Williams, and Greg Hardy. At defensive tackle, you have Dontari Poe, Ndamukong Suh, and Gerald McCoy. At outside linebacker, you have Tamba Hali, Terrell Suggs, and Brian Arakpo. At inside linebacker, you have Luke Kuechly and Paul Posluszny. Probably butchered that as well, my apologies. At cornerback, you have Patrick Wills-Peterson, Darrell Rivas, Brent Grimes, and Tim Jennings. At safety, you have Eric Berry, Eric Weddle, T.J. Ward. At kicker, you have Justin Tucker. At punter, you have Brandon Fields. At punt returner, you have Cordarrelle Patterson. As special teams specialist, you have Matthew Slater. And at long snapper, you have J.J. Jensen. So, that was the teams by position and who they picked. As far as who I believe has the better talent, I think you have to go with Team Sanders, and which is kind of rough because I was rooting for Team Rice. Not that I dislike Sanders at all, but Jerry Rice, one of the best players to ever play at wide receiver, and I just have a ton of respect for him. And before, I was just rooting for him, trying to, be quiet about the whole situation as Deion Sanders talked a lot of smack, so to speak. But Deion Sanders, I believe, just has the most talent. It starts at quarterback. Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, and Nick Foles. Nick Foles, the most efficient quarterback with not turning over the football this year. Andrew Luck and Cam Newton, very young as well. Andrew Luck, a great passer. Cam Newton can pass the ball as well. Cam Newton, very dynamic when it comes to running the ball, though, with his legs. At running back, Jamal Charles, the best running back of the year. One of the top candidates for MVP. Had Peyton Manning not broke every record that ever existed, perhaps Jamal Charles wins it. That wide receiver, Des Bryant and A.J. Green, Deshaun McCoy, Antonio Brown. I mean, it goes on. And both teams are, made up of Pro Bowl caliber players, so you really can't go wrong. I just believe that the edge has to go to Team Sanders. And when you start to look at defense, they even have, at cornerback, Tim Jennings, Darrell Revis, Brent Grimes, Patrick Peterson, inside linebacker, Luke Kuechly. The only thing is you can't take that too much into account because of the simple fact that defense doesn't matter that much. Anyone that watched last year's Pro Bowl especially, or the year prior, defenses, it's set up, the rules are set up that in which there's supposed to be a lot of points. It's supposed to be just a high-flying back and forth down the field game, and that's what you generally see, a bunch of Hail Marys and crazy stunt plays and things like that. So that's who I believe is better. I believe it's Team Sanders. I want to know what you think. So in the comments below, what I want you to do is I want you to leave who you think has the better skills of set of skill players, or better players on their team. Is it Team Sanders or perhaps Team Rice? I also want to know who you think is going to win. And also, if you could subscribe and like or favorite the video, I'd appreciate that as well. Trying to put out videos as much as possible to keep everyone up to date on what's going on. So just hit that little button. It just takes a second. But a few days ago, I did release a video on reviewing the hit on the Talib from Wes Welker and Bill Belichick's reply to that, or response. And I asked you guys to give me what you thought, a little bit of your side of things, and they poured in, and I'll read a few of them right now and put them up on the screen for you. So as we kind of go, it was kind of back and forth, and you can kind of see, especially Patriots fans, sticking with their team, which they should. Football players are very passionate, but if you just kind of look at some of the top comments, here's the ones that kind of stuck out to me most. We'll start with SSGX386 that replied, "Dirty. All there is to it. A finer suspension, take your pick, Goodell. Probably neither in your case, though." So it seems like he has an issue with Goodell as commissioner in the NFL, as he took a little shot at him there. You have Marty Reich, who I hope I pronounced that name right. As you can tell, I butchered just about everybody's names on the Pro Bowl roster. But Marty Reich says, "I think Welker was trying to inflict some pain on Talib, but I don't think he intended to hurt him so bad that he couldn't continue. Unfortunately, in a bang-bang play like that, you have little control over the eventual consequences. I'm a Patriot fan, but I don't think Welker should be punished by the league. He should have been flagged for offensive pass interference since the ball had not gotten to the eventual receiver yet." So that's a Patriots fan believing that there should have been a flag thrown, but that that Wes Welker didn't mean any harm, which that I can definitely side with anyone that will look at it in a non-biased way as much as possible. And then we also have one from JDog2K8 in which says, "Not a dirty play. Welker had come off a major concussion. Why risk health or status for the Super Bowl to take out one player? It is poor sportsmanship on Bill's part to blame one play for his team's loss. It's football and players get hurt. Denver outplayed New England from the first snap, controlled the clock, and made plays when it mattered." And all of that is true. I definitely agree with him. I think that the underlying thing between Bill Belichick and Wes Welker there, obviously there's an underlying problem that we probably are not made fully aware of. But whatever that issue is, that probably has something to do with it. So I do appreciate all the comments and responses. Keep them coming, and I'll probably even put some more up on future videos. Just trying to keep this short right now. Just remember to subscribe and like and favorite the videos, and keep coming back and checking back for more. And let me know what you want to see. If there's anything specific, I'll definitely do my best to get it out for you. That's all I have for now. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Let me know yours. Until next time, later.